Hey guys, how you doing? It's Nation here. So I'm going to carry on with the series, having a look at starting a 30k army. So on the last video we had a look at kind of at the beginning of the force organisation charts, what sort of allies they can take, warlord traits, stuff like that. So it was kind of like the beginning of it. I was going to move on to HQ next. However, I thought about it and I kind of opted out of it because at the end of the day, the bulk of your army is going to be your troops, sort of thing. So I thought we'd focus on that as well, especially since the Betrayal of Caltha's out. There's a lot of Marines you can get now, so yeah, you might as well decide what you can do with them, do with your core lot first off, basically. Okay. Also as well, thank you to everyone with the kind comments on the first video. I'm doing these kind of like recording a couple at a time, sort of thing. So if you have any questions or anything like that, I might not get to them for another couple of videos down the line as well. Also as well to note, I was doing a little bit of research today, and obviously I found out there's a lot of FAQs and erratas on the Forge World website for this, so I'm not going to cover them in this series, maybe later on down the line, but not at the beginning, because simple fact, it gets a bit too confusing. Having this and then having a download that you have to look up rules as well, it's just a bit too much, sort of thing. So we're going to start off here, and then once you're ready, you kind of got the grips of this, then have a look at the FAQ and the errata side of things. I'll try and drop in hints of or like when I've read the erratas, I will try and let you know about them as well, just so in case you're doing modelling and stuff like that, you don't sort of like change things or equip them with the wrong things and bits and bobs like that. So yeah, I'm going to go over troops. I'm also going to go over some of the Legion special rules as well. So yeah, well, I'll have a look into the. As I said, with all of this, it's up to a little bit of interpretation how you read it. It's up to you at the end of the day. I agree with your mates if you really do get stuck in a tie, just roll a d6 at the end of the day. But I'm also thinking about sort of changing it up a little bit, because I think the last one was possibly a bit rules heavy. Similar, this is going to be a little bit rules heavy, but I'm going to have a look at doing possibly fluff stuff, having a look at legions. Unsure how to do that at the moment, so because I want to try and get the basics down first. So it's probably best off starting understand what you need to put together to actually build one, and then you can diversify from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off looking at the Legion Tactical Squads. So you get 10 Marines and it costs 150 points. So now there's a few things which I'll probably take for granted in here, but 40k players will be like, whoa, that's way different. If it does, yeah, don't be surprised. I play more 30k than I do 40k, so just bear that in mind. So you get 9 Legional Tactical Space Marines, 1 Legion Tactical Sergeant. A unit type is Legion Tactical Space Marine Infantry, Legion Tactical Sergeant Infantry brackets character. They're a little bit different now in 40k. There is an errata for that sort of thing, so we're up to 7th edition. War gear, you get power armor, bolter, bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. Okay. Special rules, Legionnaires Astartes and Fury of the Legion. So I'll tell you what. Legionnaires Astartes is it's something that you'll need to know right from the start, sort of thing. Okay, so it's not they shall know no fear. That's not in it. That is not in here. Okay, so that rule throw out of your head straight off the bat. Okay. There's no point with it, okay? It's non-existent in this. So get that rule out of your head first, okay? So this is a little bit of a fluff bit. The Space Marines of the Emperor's Legions are genetically engineered, psycho-indoctrinated warriors with superhuman abilities and minds and souls tempered for war. In addition, each individual legion has its own idiosyncrasies and character, the product of their gene seed and unique warrior culture. Words. So yeah, let's just explain a little bit. So here goes into a little bit of the rules. Units with the special rule may always attempt to regroup normally regardless of casualties. So if you're under 25%, you can still regroup. Okay, that's worth bearing in mind. Units will also have additional special rules and abilities specific to their legion. Okay, fair enough. A Space Marine may only have one such named rule, e.g. Legionnaires Astartes (brackets Sons of Horus). Space Marine units from different legion may only be included using ally rules. See Warhammer 40k rulebook in conjunction with the Allies of the Age of Darkness chart found on page 12. So it's basically saying if you've got an ally, you can only have if you're taking a 30k army, you can only take 30k allies. That's the way I'm reading it. So you can't take I don't know, Blood Ravens. Yeah, they're non-existent in this because they're not 30k. I'll tell you what. In the next video, what I'll do is we'll go through the legions and what each legion that's there, that's the first founding chapter that's available, sort of thing. That'll be a good one to go with. Then you've also got unlisted legions. If you're using this army to represent the legion which does not yet have its own unique legion as a starting rule, you may instead add either the stubborn or furious charge special rule to the standard provisions of the rule in the interim. So it's basically saying, if your army doesn't have any specifics so far, like for example Blood Angels or Dark Angels or White Scars, they're not out yet. Space Wolves, Thousand Suns. You could give them one of these rules in the meantime, basically, as a kind of substitute. Whether or not it's a fair substitute, I wouldn't say so. Mainly for the simple fact the other Legion rules have got loads of different traits. A lot more ups. They've got a few downs though as well, so bear it in mind. So that's basically the Legionnaires Astartes special rule. So that basically replaces They Shall Know No Fear. So this is the important thing to bear in mind, which a lot of people forget. Space Marines will run away. You can chase them down, you can annihilate squads if they run away. So bear that in mind, that's quite a big thing. So going back to Legion Tactical Squad, you get Fury of the Legion, dedicated transport. As long as it numbers no more than 10 models, the squad may choose a Rhino as a dedicated transport. Note if an army contains a character that has one of the Rights of War special rules, other dedicated transport options may be available to the squad. Rights of War we'll go through on another time. Basically, if you choose a Legion, or actually no, you can choose any legion can take Rights of War, but it'll allow them bonuses like they've all got to take flyers, or they can all take Spartans as transports, or something crazy like that. They're available, but there are restrictions on those. As I said, we'll go through those in another time. Okay, so this is your standard sort of layout for a Space Marine. Sorry, stats. WS4, BS4, Strength 4, Toughness 4, Wounds 1, Initiative 4, Attacks 1, Leadership 8, and a 3-up save. Pretty much the same as 40k. So, options. This is quite interesting. The Legion Tactical Squad may take up to 10 additional Space Marines. So you can have a 20-man squad. They're quite fun. Okay. The entire Legion Tactical Squad may do one of the following: exchange their bolter or combat blade, exchange their bolter for a combat blade or chainsword. Sorry, I'm just reading that wrong again. Okay. So, and also, the entire Legion Tactical Squad may do one of the following. This is kind of interesting. I didn't actually read this before. So you can exchange it, or you can take an additional combat blade or chainsword. So basically what it's saying is you could swap out, because they all come with a bolter and a bolt pistol as standard, you could swap out the bolter and put in a chainsword. So you've now got assault squads. So basically your attacks will come to 2, and all you guys have got bolt pistol and chainsword. Okay. Or for 2 points per model, you could give them a chainsword, so they'll have bolt pistol, bolter, and chainsword. When you take 40 guys though, that'll be an extra 40 points. Racks up quite rapidly, I would have thought. It's not my favourite thing. I just prefer to switch them up for bolt pistol and close combat blades. One of the Space Marines that may take a Nuncio Vox, we'll cover that in another time. One Space Marine may carry a Legion Vexilia. And the Sergeant may take Combi Weapon, Plasma Pistol, Heavy Chainsaw, Power Weapon, Power Fist, Single Lightning Claw, Melter Bombs, and Artificer Armor. So he basically gets a 2-up cover save. Sorry, not cover save, armor save. Ooh, special. So yeah, that's the main difference. There's no special weapons, unlike 40k, you know, where you get a tactical squad and you can stick a las cannon and a flamer in there or something like that. You can't do that with these. It's all bolters. All bolters, apart from the Sergeant who can take some funny bits. Okay, so Fury of the Legion. This is the punishing bit of this squad. So if they all take bolters, you definitely want to bear this rule in mind. So, okay, so I'll read this rule out. The top bit is just about fluff. It's basically saying they can do a thunderous volley of bolt shells. While at least 5 models remain in the unit armed with bolters or bolt pistols, the squad can elect to make a Fury of the Legion attack in the shooting phase so long as they did not move, arrive via deep strike, or disembark a vehicle earlier in the player turn. Models making a Fury of the Legion attack may fire twice with their bolters or bolt pistols against a single target. Note that in the case of a combi weapon, only the bolter part may fire twice. That's fair enough. So you can't fire the melter gun twice. Okay, there's a downside to it, owing to the massive expenditure of ammunition involved. Once a squad has made a Fury of the Legion attack, it may not use Overwatch fire later that turn or fire in the shooting phase of the next player turn, but may otherwise move, fight in assault, run, etc. normally. Place a counter next to the thing to represent this. Fury of the Legion attacks may not be used for snapshots, and models joining the unit do not benefit from this rule and must fire normally, as does non-bolter weapons used by the squad at the same time the Fury Legion attack is made. So basically, that is brutal if you can pull it off. Now the problem is you can't move, so you have to be in the right position to pull it off. Second, what I would suggest, if you can do it with bolters, that'd be brilliant. And the real sweet spot is if you can do it with rapid fire, because each bolter will fire 2 shots, and then you've got 20 guys. So that's just with rapid fire itself, will fire 40 shots. If you use Fury of the Legion, you'll be firing, oh, what's wrong with my words today? Firing 80 shots. So there are people and bits which can give you BS increases and stuff like that as well. So if you have that in a squad and 80 shots hitting on 2s, really no matter what you are, that's going to be pretty savage. So yeah, watch out for that one. So that's where the Legion Tactical Squad is. So basically, if you're going to equip a 20-man Tactical Squad, it's going to be 250 points. So you can see how quickly this escalates up already. That's the price of a Land Raider, straight off the bat. Legion Assault Squad, this is 10 Marines with jump packs. It's 250 points straight off the bat, and you get 10 Marines. There's no option to go lower. You only get that. So they got Legion jump packs, assault infantry, power armor, bolt pistol, chainsaw, combat blade, frag and crack grenades, and the jump pack. Legion as a start. These rules. What else we got? You can take another 10 Marines as well. So you can have 20-man assault squads. They're 15 points each. So that'd be another 150 points. So you're looking at 400 points for a 20-man assault squad. That's pretty pricey. So the entire squad can take metal bombs for 5 points each. The entire squad can take combat shields for 3 points each. For every 5 models in the squad, they can exchange one of their weapons for exchange their chainsword for a power weapon, exchange their bolt pistol for a hand flamer, exchange their bolt pistol for a plasma pistol. The squad sergeant can take a hand flamer or a plasma pistol. He could also have heavy chainsaw, power weapon, single lightning claw, thunder hammer, power fist, or he can have a pair of lightning claws. He can have melter bombs, combat shield, and also artificer armor as well. I'm not going to go into the wording of like he can replace this or he can do this or this, because that just takes too much time basically. So that's the gist of the assault squad as well. Pretty brutal again if you've got a lot of them. Not a massive fan of the assault squads, to be honest with you. So let's carry on. Let's move on. So you got a Legion Breacher squad. Basically all the stat lines are the same for Marines out of the lot. So you get 10 Marines. You got power armor, boarding shield, bolter, bolt pistol, frag, crack grenades. Legionnaires Astartes hardened armor. I'll tell you what that is in a second, and you can have dedicated transport. But these guys, they can have a Land Raider if they want to. It doesn't say they can take a Rhino, it just says they can take a Land Raider, so that's interesting. Hardened armor automatically counts as being void hardened. So if you're using special rules with void stuff, in missions where it's appropriate, and failed armor saves against template and blast weapons may be re-rolled. Units with hardened armor reduce the distance rolled for charges, sweeping advances, and run moves by 1. So it basically means they're slower, but any blast or template weapons that hit them, if you fail the save, you can re-roll it. So that's not too bad. Not too bad. Again, you can have 20 of them. You can take melter bombs. You could have a Volkite charger, flamer, melter gun, graviton gun, lance cutter, Nuncio Vox, Legion Vexilia. Sergeant can have combi weapon, plasma pistol. You can have power weapon, power fist, single lightning claw, thunder hammer. You can have 1 breaching charge for the sergeant. You can have melter bombs. Okay. You can also upgrade to artificer armor. Note this means he will also be subject to the hardened armor special rule. Okay, so even if he takes that, he's upgraded. So basically these guys are a little bit tougher. They're 225 points and part of your troop slot. So whether or not you want to do them, I've never been a massive fan, but I haven't really used them too much, so I'll give them a try sometime. Legion Tactical Support Squad. These ones are interesting. So there's 100 points and you get 5 Marines. They got all the standard stuff. They come as standard. They've got power armor and a flamer and a bolt pistol. So they come standard with a flamer. So 5 guys with flamers. Yeah, that's interesting. You can take Rhinos. So you can have up to 5 additional Marines. This is the interesting part about the squad. You can exchange their weapons, but if one person exchanges their weapon, then they've all got to exchange their weapon. Okay, just to read out that rule in case people aren't clear, all of the models in the squad may exchange their flamers for one of the following weapons. If taken, then all the models in the squad must be equipped with the same weapon. Just in case anyone wasn't clear on that. So you can have rotor cannons, Volkite Cavalier, Volkite Charger, plasma gun, or melter gun. So basically the entire squad could have melter guns, or plasma guns. So that'd be 10 plasma gun shots. And if there's rapid fire as well, that'd be pretty savage. And so cost points per each person as well. So you add up your Marines to it and then add the weapon to it as well. So that can be a bit pricey. Sergeant can have plasma pistol, combi weapon. He can have augury scanner, heavy chainsaw, power weapon, power fist, single lightning claw, artificer armor, melter bombs. Support squad. This is an interesting part about this. Support squads are Legion formations that utilize special war gear, weapons, and tactics to support the assault with the Legion's main strength. Although they are troops choices for the Space Marine Legions, they may not be used to fulfill compulsory troop choices for a force organization chart unless a particular Legion special rule says to the contrary. Basically means, you know, you've got to have 1 HQ and 2 troops for your standard. You basically can't take one of these as the standard, so you have to take two other troops choices just to get that bit filled up. So yeah, that's the support squad. Legion reconnaissance squad. So these are kind of like your scouts. Again, same stat profile. They come with power armor, bolter, bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades, and shroud bombs. I don't really know what shroud bombs do. Special rules: Legionnaires Astartes, scout, outflank, acute sensors, and support squad. Again, these are like the tactical support squads. You can't take them as compulsory. So the squad may use either a Rhino or a Storm Eagle gunship as a dedicated transport. That's fair enough. Just going to take a quick jump cut. Okay, so we're back. So yeah, these guys, these are basically your scouts. So they've all got power armor. So power armored scouts, not something you see in 40k. You can have up to 5 additional Marines. So any Space Marine may exchange their bolter for one of the following: sniper rifle or Space Marine shotgun, chainsword or combat blade for free. So that's interesting. So these guys could also be assaulty as well, but they could also be sniper rifles. Yeah, so it'd be a 10-man squad with sniper rifles and power armor. Interesting. One Space Marine may take a Nuncio Vox. The squad may take Camelio Line. I think that's how you say it. The entire squad may take metal bombs. Okay, so the entire squad may replace their power armor with recon armor. This changes their armor to a 4+ save, and they gain the infiltrate and move through cover special rule. So if you really want them to be scouts, you could switch them up a bit. Possibly. Sergeant can take chainsaw, power weapon, single lightning claw, power fist, hand flamer, combi weapon, plasma pistol, Volkite, Serpenta, artificer armor. Yeah. So yeah, that is the reconnaissance squad. So that's the scout side of things. Again, they're a support squad, so you can't take these as a compulsory troop choice. Wow, I wish I could get my words right today. And I'm going to go over one last thing here, is the Rhino. It's the dedicated transport. It's pretty much the same, however it's got a few other little interesting things. BS4, front armor 11, side armor 11, rear armor 10, 3 hull points. Searchlight smoke launchers, twin linked bolter. So it's not a storm bolt, it's a twin linked bolter. So 2 models may fire from the Rhino's top hatch. So it's basically got 2 fire points. And it's got access points, it's got repair. If a Rhino is immobilized for any reason, then in subsequent turns the crew can attempt to repair instead of firing any of the Rhino's weapons. In the shooting phase, instead of firing a weapon, the Rhino can attempt to repair and immobilize, result in a d6 roll of 6. So it can get up. I'm not sure if that's in 40k, I don't know the rules for 40k Rhinos, but that'd be interesting to see. I think it's still there. One thing that's kind of a bit different is possibly the loadout the Rhino can take in 30k. It's 35 points. You can take a hunter killer missile, dozer blade, auxiliary drive, extra armor. I think that's what you can do in 40k. But you can also equip it with pintle mounted weapons. So you can equip it with a twin link bolter, a combi weapon, a heavy bolter, heavy flamer, or a havoc launcher. So there's a bit of chaos thrown back in there for you for the havoc launcher side of things. So yeah, I think that's it on the troop side of things. Yeah. We'll do dedicated transports in a bit more in depth another time. So yeah, that is your troop side of things. Whether or not that's any help, I don't know. But maybe it gives you a bit of an insight to what it's like. So you can get a lot more guys on the board. They're not going to hang around as long though. So see what you think of that. Also, bear in mind obviously the whole, if you're going to take a support squad, obviously everyone's got to take the same weapon. And they can't be compulsory ones. So basically, in there, you've got to take either a tactical squad, either 2 tactical squads, a Legion Assault squad, or a Breacher squad in there at some point. It could be 2 of one of them, or, yeah, it could be whatever, before you'll get the other ones in there. So yeah, that's how I read it. I mean, obviously if you read it and you interpret it differently, that's absolutely fine, you're entitled to it. And as long as all your friends agree to it, then I can't see why not. At the end of the day, as long as it's a game and you're having fun, then that's the main thing. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a lengthy one, but yeah, that's troops. That's the bulk of a lot of the things out of the way. There's a lot more entries in other systems, but yeah, we'll get to them. So in the next one, I'm going to go over the legions that are available. I won't go over the rules of each, we'll talk a little bit about them and what they do. So until the next one, guys, take it steady, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.